Isn't it? Hello, it's a second line day. We're in gate 23, the gate of assimilation, and line 2 is called self-defense. Ra says that the individual is quite a fearful being, and the fear that they carry is that of being rejected, the fear of being ostracized or exiled. The second line hides away in their room, safe in their own knowing, not letting anyone else know what they know, just in case they can't explain it. Sometimes when they can explain it, they still end up in trouble. So we have this withdrawal, this self-defense. The lifetime learning says the need to abandon tolerance when survival is threatened. This is the gate of eliminating intolerance because the individual cannot survive in an intolerant world. They need to find a way of expressing their unique knowing. But the second line here, this is the most anti-interference line that there is, Ra says. The second line here is just leave me alone. Do not interfere with my knowing. Do not interfere with my uniqueness. Leave me alone. The exaltation says the principle of preservation at its most acute, the abandonment of tolerance when the individual expression is threatened. And the detriment is where Jupiter will strike out to preserve its integrity, the moon is often satisfied with just protecting itself by fending off hostility. Self-defense. The second line is really happy in their room, and remember, this is a gate that is deaf and it's stubborn, and it doesn't want you to know really what it's got. It doesn't want to know what you want from it. It doesn't want to know what you think it should know. One of the underlying themes of the individual is the conflict between being unique and not wanting to be influenced, and at the same time having to integrate and be of influence. Dealing with others can be a shock to this hermit. It will send them scurrying back to their room to be on their own again, unwilling to come out and share their knowing. The 43 line 2 is called dedication. The second line is a hermit. They need to hide their nature to protect themselves. So here we have the gift of insight that's hidden. It's a knowing that needs to be called out. This, as we know, is the channel of the genius or freak, trying to find the balance between leave me alone and I have an insight to share. Dedicated to waiting for the right call, perhaps. Dedicated to staying in its own space until it has a unique insight to contribute to the totality. In other, weather, when. Yeah, this is a throat gate. Obviously, it's the voice that says I can't speak today. Venus shifts into gate 2 at just after 1:45 this morning. It's there already. This is the gate of our unique direction. It's a gate in the G center. It's the center for love and direction and our identity. And Venus is associated with love and beauty and grace. So does your direction support your values? Can you find beauty on your journey? When it comes to your direction in life, what is important to you? What values do you hold dear? We have a nodal change today at 22:33 BST. The north node moves into gate 21, and the gate, which is the gate of the hunter or the huntress, also known, of course, as the gate of control, and the south node moves into gate 48, which is the gate of depth. The nodes of the moon are like our seasons, really, and we've been living in the season of shocking insights or intuitive insights that shock us with the 51-57. And the moon has its phases. It is constantly moving, it's waxing, it's waning. So as we go through the nodal transit, there is a sense of this movement too between the gate of control and the gate of depths and back again. It's like a flow. So if you've got it and look at the nodes in your personal chart, it tends to be that the south node is the sort of first 30, 40 years, And then as we mature, hopefully we move into the North Node expression, still with the influence of that South Node, but this is the journey as it's in our personal chart. But Ra said that it's more of that sort of weather feeling, the more seasonal feeling when it's in the transit. So it flows and it goes between the two. So how do we marry these together? How do we sort of make sense of them? If you look at the names of the gates, you could say, do we have enough depth to take control? If we can tap into the resources of the well, will we be able to survive on the material plane? Or will the relentless drive for control drain the well completely? And we start off in the 6th line because the nodes move clockwise, which is the opposite way to all the other planets as they go around the wheel, unless they're in retrograde, of course. The 6th lines are self-fulfillment in the South Node, in the 48, and this is an undiminishable resource, moving to chaos in the 21 North Node, line 6. This is the ineffective action which leads to disorder. So for the next 16 days, while we're in the line 6 of the nodes, we will be moving between chaos and self-fulfillment. The moon is still in gate 45 and it moves into gate 12 at 15:10 BST. This is the gate of standstill, the gate of caution, another individual throat gate with the ability to be very articulate in expressing unique perceptions when it's in the mood. This expression is not only through words, but there is the inflection in the voice. There is the frequency behind the words. The individual wants to be understood, but has a natural caution about how to express their views. This is also the gate of silence and stillness and contemplation. With the moon in gate 12, we have a channel with Saturn in gate 22, the channel of openness or not. And it has very similar qualities, of course, in that it's an individual channel. It is reliant on the right timing to operate correctly, and it must be in the mood before it does anything. It's acoustic, it's romantic, and it can express its emotions, and it's a manifestor channel. So maybe the emotion it's going to express is anger, but it's a sensitive channel. It's a channel that can be afraid of rejection. So there's another moon gate to come, but it's tomorrow, early tomorrow morning. And because the sun was up so early today, we actually have 2 sun gates. So I will be doing another one later on today. Look out for that in your inbox. And I'll put gate 15, which is the moon gate, then in with that one. So there will be that a bit later on. So double transit weather today. Lucky you. Yeah, I think that's all I got to say for today. So enjoy your day, wherever you are, whatever time you're watching this. I hope all is going well with you. As always, please do feel invited to leave a comment if you would like to in the box below. And I will see you a bit later on for the second transit of the day.